What's up, everybody? James Haviland here with the Living in the Villages team. Today's video, is Florida a good place to live? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back. Listen, thanks for tuning in. As I said, this video is going to be about whether or not Florida is a good place to live. Well, I got my notes here. I'm going to throw some facts at you. I'm going to tell you about some of my own personal experiences. And if you've been on the fence for any period of time, whether or not you want to move to the state of Florida, well, hopefully this video gives you some value. And if it does, go ahead and leave us a comment down below. Let me know what value you got from the video. Let me know where you're living, where you're moving from. We always love to hear that, okay? We always love to know where people move from. It's very interesting to us, okay? We're gonna get right into the video, not waste any more time. The weather, beaches, and hurricanes. The weather's amazing. We got beaches on three sides, and yes, we do get hurricanes, okay? Not every hurricane is gonna be devastating, but I'm not gonna downplay that by no means because it's devastating when it does happen. But we do get the occasional hurricane. That's why I do like to live in the central part of the state, because by the time they get to the central part, it's not as devastating. But it doesn't matter where you live on the planet. You always have to take precautions, you always have to be safe, and you always got to be using the old noggin, okay? So always remember that. Fresh seafood, vegetables, fruits, all year round, okay? You can grow things in Florida all year round. Beautiful sunny state, right? And the seafood. Oh man, I could talk about that. I can do a whole hour-long video about fresh seafood and everywhere I've eaten it in the state. And if you're ever curious about some of the places that are close, I'm actually going to do some videos about places that aren't in the villages, but aren't a far drive when it comes to restaurants and activities and things like that. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can see those videos in the future, okay? Fresh seafood, you can't beat it, right? I've lived in the Midwest, by the way, and I've eaten seafood. I've gone to Red Lobster and I've gone to seafood restaurants in the Midwest. Yeah, it tastes good, but you got to remember, it's probably not going to be that fresh, okay? It's probably frozen, shipped in a truck, and by the time it gets there, they thaw it. But hey, there's nothing like some fresh shrimp. Like, you just know they just caught this the day before. Like I said, I can do a whole video about that, but we're not going to do that. No state income tax. No state income tax. Did you hear that? No state income tax. That's beautiful, because people say, oh, it's too expensive, it's too expensive, it's too expensive. That's always very subjective, okay? I've been to LA, I've been to Vegas, I've been all over the country, okay? I know what expensive is, but it's the trade-off, right? You know, okay, well, I want to live where it's pretty much gorgeous weather almost all year round. I want to live palm trees, I want to be able to go to the beach, you know, I want fresh seafood. Well, if you want these things, you got to pay for it, right? It's just the way it is. Like, people move to San Diego because of the weather. Well, you want to live in Florida, you say it's too expensive. If you're happy where you're at, then stay where you're at. That's okay, I get it. If you need 4 seasons, you need a white Christmas, then you should probably stay wherever you live. Like, if you absolutely have to have that, then you should probably stay where you're at. That's what I would recommend. But if you want this kind of lifestyle, you love the warm weather. If you've ever come to a warm climate state, Texas, or even Florida, and you're like, oh my God, oh my goodness, I could live here all year long, then you should probably move here, okay? Keep that in mind. Traffic, okay? I hate traffic. I used to be a truck driver years ago. Hated traffic. Did not like Chicago traffic. That was probably the worst. That, New York, and LA. But I went through Chicago more often than anything. Traffic sucks, okay? Nobody likes sitting in there. But if you want to kind of stay away from the big, heavy-duty traffic stuff, in season, remember, Florida's a tourist state. People come here for Disney. They come to Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, Miami, okay? This is where they come. This is where people come to vacation. That was the conversation I had with my wife one day when we lived in the Midwest. I said, you realize that we're going to move to where people vacation. I know, it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm a little slow, maybe. But I was like, wow. I said, so essentially how I'm going to think of it when we move back to Florida is I'm moving or excuse me, I'm going on vacation, but I'm never going home. That's what I told myself. When I'm just driving down here, I said, I'm going on vacation and I'm never coming back. And that's what happened. And we're never turning back. Something seriously drastic has to happen for us to leave the state of Florida. And it has to be serious. Other than that, we're not going anywhere. Okay? So you're stuck with me, Florida. Bugs, mosquitoes. They got bugs and mosquitoes everywhere else, don't they? Yeah. Gators. Yeah, they have gators. Listen, I have never walked outside my door and seen a gator. I've heard of some people, oh my God, they're everywhere. Oh my God, you're like stepping all over them. That's not true. Now, my wife, she's like the gator whisperer or something. Everywhere she goes, oh, seen a gator. I just seen one right there on the bank. I don't know how she does it. But everywhere she goes, she has any kind of body of water, she has to try to find a gator, and she usually does. That's the scary part. And they're beautiful creatures. Love watching them, love taking photos. But hey, this is Florida, right? You're gonna get the snakes, you're gonna get this. I haven't seen much of these critters because I don't live in the jungle or the swamp. But they are there. But these are just things to keep in mind, okay? Or you can go to Gatorland. This is not a plug for Gatorland, but you can go there in Orlando. Thousands of gators. It was incredible. Took my wife, we had a blast. It was really cool. This is something huge about the state, okay? Year-round outdoor activities and outdoor and water activities. Also, here's another thing I've noticed from living in other states and during my life, that when it gets to the winter times, they've like pretty much shut things down for the most part. Not everything, like construction, things like that. They're like, we can't get on an icy roof. It's snowing. There's a blizzard outside. I've done construction in Florida too. Really cold mornings, being a roofer. Yeah. 365 days a year you can work in the state of Florida. Okay, yeah, it might be chill. You might have to put a jacket on, a pullover, maybe 2 layers of socks, maybe some boots, if you're going to work construction or something. But for the most part, it's going to warm up in the afternoon, and you can do it 365 days a year. You can water ski 365 days a year. Okay, you can eat fresh seafood 365 days a year. Okay. And here's my personal story. I moved to the Midwest. I was there for 9 years. I said to myself, I am never moving back to the state of Florida. It's too hot. It's too expensive. I think I was like 29, okay? So I was like, it's never happening. I'm moving away. I'm never coming back. Well, skip forward a while. I meet my now wife, and she says, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to live in Florida. And I'm like, wow, okay. And then I talked to my grandma a few times. I said, man, I'm depressed. I don't know what my deal is. And she said, maybe you're homesick. I'm like, homesick? Like, I have a house here. Like, I'm home. What do you mean? She said, this is where your family is. This is where the beaches are, what you would love doing when you were a kid. Like, you loved going to the beach. And the wheels started turning. I was like, wow, maybe I'm homesick. Homesick, plus my new, now wife, my girlfriend, always want to live in Florida. I said, you know what? I think you might be right. Started getting the house ready to sell, sold it, came here, and the rest was history. And like I said, we're never going to leave. It'd have to be something horrible, something really drastic for us to leave the state. Okay? No state income tax. The weather's great. The fresh seafood. The beaches. This is great. Traffic we don't like, but you're going to get traffic anywhere you go. Okay? And that's my reasons, and those are my facts. You do have some high insurance costs. You do have some flood insurance area. You will have to get flood insurance in some areas. You will have some high insurance costs. Remember this, okay? The closer you are to the water, the more expensive everything is going to be. That's why I live in central Florida. Not just central, but central. That's why I live here, okay? Well, for many different reasons, but you remember that. The closer you are to the beach, the higher your insurance is going to be. You're going to have flood insurance, you're going to have hurricane insurance. So yeah, insurance costs are going to be very high. But it's the trade-off. What do you want? What's more important to you? Now, if you need the 4 seasons, if, say, you live in a house and you live on a 20-acre property and you love the snow and you love the mountains, if that's your thing, if that's what you love, hey, when I was the truck driver, I love driving through the mountains. I love seeing the snow on the top of the mountains from afar. That was beautiful to me. It was like a postcard. Montana, Oregon, Washington State, things like that. Northern California, absolutely beautiful and amazing. But I don't want to live there. That's me personally. I just don't want to live there. I thought at one time that's where I want to live in the Midwest, but I realized I was just homesick this whole time. It's something about that warm weather, man. You get that nice sun on your face. Even if you're working indoors like I am right now, I work indoors a lot. You know, I do the videos indoors. You know, I have an office, so I'm always at the office. You're making phone calls. Just a few minutes ago, before I started this video, I went outside with my little mini poodle, and we just sat on the porch for a few minutes. Get that sun on my face. She got to lay down on the warm deck. We did it for a few minutes, and that's just it's the little things, you know. So I hope you got some value out of this video. You know, if you ever need anything, reach out to us. You know what to do. This is just what we love to do. We love helping people. We love making these videos, and we love the beautiful state of Florida and the villages. Okay, we really do. So, as always, drink lots of water. I hope you enjoyed the video, and it is hot out there. I don't care where you live. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Hope you enjoyed everything. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks.